Hi, this is another episode of Spade Talk, where out of the box thinkers and executors come together for a value driven conversation. Today, I'm joined with influencer, traveler, content creator, family man, and an all around stand up dude. How you doing, Jaylin?
I'm doing blessed, brother. Super excited to be here. Yeah.
Amazing. So, we could take this any direction, but I really want to get started. I see you traveling. I see you making a lot of content around traveling. I see you hinting around the idea of, kind of like relocating. So where was the last place that you've been?
Last place I've been was Dominican Republic.
Yeah, and what was your experience like there?
So my experience over there, it's a beautiful place. The reason why I love the Dominican Republic is because there's a surf town called Encuentro. It's a little town right by Cabarete in Dominican Republic. The vibes over there are immaculate. It's kind of like Thailand or Bali. There's just martial arts, surfing, yoga, all that type of beautiful stuff. So if you're into that, that is definitely the place you want to be at. And yeah, I'm going to be relocating over there probably by 2025. Don't know what time in 2025, but I know for a fact I'll be moving out there.
That's awesome. And so you started a run club.
Yeah.
Right? JRC
Yeah.
Run Club, which I've been seeing it's popping off. Right after this, we actually about to go run with the squad.
Yeah.
Do a nice 5K. What made you want to start your own run club?
So shout out to Jeff Gloria because when I went to his run club out in Toronto, it really inspired me. He had this speech and he said that everywhere Bali, he traveled all around the world, and he said that Toronto needs to step its game up. And so that hit my ego because I'm from here, and I realized that we don't have enough kind of groups that do something that better themselves, you know what I mean? So I feel like we need more leaders out here that want to start up something, want to create an environment for each other where we can all better ourselves and take each other to the next level. And in Toronto, I feel like, there's a lot of competition. It's a very fast-paced environment. Everybody just wants to be at the top. But, in order to get to the top, we got to help each other get there. You know what I mean? So I feel like I want to create that space for each other.
What'd you learn from running it so far?
What I learned from running the run club would probably be creating community, and being a leader in terms of like leadership. I'm learning more leadership qualities in terms of having a run club, keeping each other accountable, communication, like all these things play a big part, and it's definitely a big responsibility like hosting these runs, because I got to reach out to a lot of people. It takes a lot of my energy.
There's a lot of organization involved.
Exactly.
A lot of things that you have to put together in order to make it happen, right?
Exactly, right? So it definitely taught me a lot about leadership, and it's just a great skill to have,
Awesome. So what type of training are you doing these days? I see that you kind of might maybe doing like a little hybrid type of training, or so like what type of training do you do, and do you kind of like prescribe the same thing for your clients?
So the training I do right now is more so kind of like a hybrid training. So I do calisthenics still, same bodybuilding training, but I incorporated more running, more of like a cardio exercise. Now that it's summer, you got to start, trying to get more cut in the summer. I'm not trying to be bulked all the way around because I noticed that when you're bulked, like there's a lot of brain fog that comes with that. You're always eating, you feel kind of sluggish. But when you're just cut, you always feel ready. You feel like you have more testosterone. You know what I mean? So as of right now, I have like a little hybrid split in terms of the workout I kind of give to my clients, for example. That kind of like varies depending on just the person and what goals they want to get with their body and fitness. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because everybody's different, right? So
Yeah.
you're kind of customizing the approach for them too. It's very smart.
Exactly, yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 20 now.
You're 20. Wow. Yeah. You know, like you've done a lot for 20 years old. Mm-hmm. So, what was growing up like?
Wow, that's a big question. Growing up for me, well, I had young parents. They had me at 20, and they were still figuring life themselves at a very young age. So, mm-hmm. I definitely think it was a blessing and a curse, because a blessing in terms of I got to learn from their mistakes as they grow up, but a curse that I had to deal with all their trauma and all the things that, you know, they had to deal with. So growing up for me was definitely not easy, because I definitely did not have like the best childhood, but it definitely got me to where I am right now, and the mindset that I have right now, it definitely helped me mature a lot more quicker.
What are some like the biggest challenges that you had growing up?
Biggest challenges was honestly being more independent, you know, because my parents are not always there in the picture to, you know, they're always passing me from house to house while they went to go to work. So I had to kind of like, I wasn't getting the love that a child would really get, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was always just going from house to house, friends' houses, cousins' houses, this and that. And it kind of helped me, like, if they weren't giving me the love that I needed, I had to find ways where I can find love for myself. Mm. So I kind of like, you know, fitness was a big part.
When did you start that?
The fitness journey, this started like to be real. This started like, the serious grind started around 2020, around COVID.
But before that, you played sports. And,
before I played sports, I was big into basketball, volleyball. I was into every sport, mm-hmm. you know, and that definitely was like.
That was the same for me.
You know,
before I found the gym and before I found like my groove mm-hmm. around like fitness, and within fitness, like you learn all these different things. Right now, you're doing hybrid training. You're probably running a bit more. Yeah. And you know what? When in the beginning it was probably just like the weights. Right, or whatever it is that you start with.
Just want to get swole.
Yeah, and then you upgrade and you learn. Like I've been at it for like 13 years now. Like you know, in fitness seriously, and mm-hmm. you know, throughout I've done volume training, strength training, bodybuilding training, calisthenics. Just you know, going through COVID, no gym. You know what I'm saying? Just outdoor stuff. Yeah. So you have like a whole plethora of different things within fitness, and after a while I always like suggest people mm-hmm. to try something out, add another skill to their repertoire, right? And that's how you like grow within this field. Facts. And one thing that you touched upon when you're talking about your parents, it's not easy when we grow up. We think adults have it all figured out, right? Like when we're little kids. Mm-hmm. But as you age, you really realize that everyone is still has their own problems and trying to figure things out on their own. And they did the best with the information that they had and what they could, you know, with the capacity that they had. Yeah. A lot of times it's hard for us to understand that because we do understand what like a child kind of wants, or your inner child, you know, wants, and you feel these things when you go introspective, mm-hmm. right? But it's important that we give like our parents grace, because they didn't even grow up with Google and the information that we have, or like social media breaking the barriers on a lot of these messages around parenthood, around how to, you know, raising children, around love and family and prosperity. Yeah. Before that, everything was offline. People had to scavenge for this stuff, and if you came across this information, you were privileged. You were blessed. Mm-hmm. So, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. I had a rough upbringing and come from like some pretty hectic conditions, but it's important that we give the previous generation, you know, our parents and our grandparents, like the grace that. You know, for them, that they didn't know any better, right? And they did the best that they could, and we're, you know, appreciative of that for sure.
100%.
So what are some goals that you have right now?
In terms of what, like fitness, anything? So kind of like my goals right now in the direction of where I'm trying to head to right now is move to the Dominican Republic and go full-time in my content, right? As of right now, I'm also building my online coaching clientele so that I will have like a online income that I can make out in Dominican. So I'm kind of just like setting myself up to survive out in the Dominican, just to be able to have my necessities, food, shelter, and things of that nature, you know, necessities. And
is there something outside of just what's making this move so important? Do you find that it's because you want to grow or expand, or like what's the deeper meaning behind it?
I think the deeper meaning behind why I want to make this move is, honestly, in terms of content, I feel like I can take it to the next level. And being in Dominican Republic, not only is just about content, but I feel like I thrive there. You know, my soul feels happy there. I can do whatever, like I can live my dream life, because when I was a kid, I used to always think about that type of lifestyle. I didn't know where I was going to find it, how I was going to get there. But when I got to the Dominican Republic and I experienced living in this town, just being one with the locals, I was like, yeah, this is literally what I've always been thinking about when I was young. So,
energy don't lie, yo.
Yeah.
Energy don't lie. And a lot of people would think that they have to wait, you know, until they've hit a certain number or a certain age before they can, you know, make moves and take these risks. But, you know, you're 20 years old with these aspirations, and I know you're going to do it. You already touched the dream. Then now you're about to immerse yourself in it. So, like, it doesn't matter the age, right? Like, you could do it at any time, and you're a testament to that.
Yeah, that's facts.
Awesome. Aside from the Dominican, where else would you like to go?
Aside from the Dominican, I would definitely want to go to Bali, Thailand.
Yeah. Just all the hubs, huh?
Yeah. All the hubs for the digital nomads, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Sri Lanka.
So that's what you're aiming for, like the digital nomad?
Yeah, that kind of space.
Right, remote, income, freedom, the ability to move around, travel. That's, honestly, I feel like that's a hack. That's more important than people like getting financial freedom here and then just staying here and being stuck. Like your ability to geographically move anywhere in the world. And you've seen me. I've been like doing it like for the last couple years, and so it's definitely a game changer and eye opener. But one thing that it takes courage and guts.
That's right.
It takes courage and guts, because a lot of people will be able to do it more than you, say with like the monetary like success that they have, but they won't take that step. They won't take that risk. It's not about money or an age or a number or any sort of money in the bank that's gonna make you right courageous. You're already courageous, and then you just make the jump and the leap. That's
facts. It definitely takes a certain level of breed to be doing these moves, you know, because especially being a solo traveler as well, going into an environment you don't even know of, you don't know how you're gonna, like, you know, the people you're gonna meet, you don't know if you're gonna be safe. It's kind of just taking that leap of faith and, you know, trusting God and seeing where everything takes. But one thing I'd say I learned about solo traveling is that God will always bring to you the right people, you know, because I didn't think I was gonna. So when I went out there, I met a content creator, and he's kind of like on the same wavelength I'm on. He wants to live he moved from the States. He pretty much didn't have a great life back in Chicago. He's now full-time in this content on YouTube, in the Dominican Republic, just living the dream life, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, he's actually the guy I'm gonna move in with. And since we have like the same kind of like goals, we're gonna both collab on content and just take it to the next level.
Let's
you know, and just go hard.
I actually had a friend that I recently reconnected with, and he was telling me that he was looking into solo traveling but never thought about it, you know, about doing it or whatever. I told him, yo, you got to take that step. It's going to change your life. Right? Even if it's for a weekend, for a week, whatever, like, do it. A lot of people, I think, like, it's not like something that is like mainstream and common, you know? Just going somewhere by yourself. A lot of people wouldn't even go to the movies or watch a movie by themselves. But like you should have that ability to do that. Like spend time by yourself, with yourself, travel, explore.
Yeah.
I've done it so many different times, and I've found tremendous benefits from that solo traveling. And the cool thing is like you said, you're going to connect with people. You're going to figure things out as you go, and you should have that trust in yourself. And once you do it more and more, you will trust yourself more and more to like, you could drop me anywhere in the world, and I'll be able to handle myself from there, even if I don't speak the language. Right. Because in the Dominican, like they have like a little bit broken English, but people don't speak like English like that. But there's, you know, like you can just communicate and figure things out, just like back in the day. You mentioned trusting in God, and I know you've had your journey in faith, and that you're a man of faith even at such a young age. So how has faith made an impact in your life?
I'd say the biggest thing faith has given me is courage and just the ability to do anything. You know, my favorite Bible verse is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That verse in itself is just like, that gives me the confidence to do anything, you know, because it's not in my power, it's from his power. He is the one who gives me the confidence to do all these things, you know. So it's not me, it's always him, and I always just give him thanks for that.
Absolutely. And so is it easy, like, sticking on like the path of faith and staying away from sin right now? Like, how have you found that, like, being 20?
Sorry, say that again.
Like, being 20 years old, when you solidified, right, your faith, was it easy to stay away from sin, or is it still like a hard thing that you grapple with?
Definitely, it's a daily battle. You know, I feel like the closer you get to God, the more battles you're gonna get. You know, the more temptation the devil, for example, will throw at you, because he sees that you're becoming a threat. You know, he sees that you're becoming a threat to his empire, so he's gonna start throwing more battles at you because you're getting closer to God. You know, so during those times, you just gotta, you know, make sure you're just focused on God, focused on doing things out of love, you know, not out of ego, not out of, you know, gain. Do things for others more than you do things for yourself, you know. And honestly, just being dialed in with the word, and just reaffirming the great you know, teachings in the Bible, it's just always been keeping me strong during like the tough times, for sure.
That's great, yo. So I want to pivot into relationships.
Jeez, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how comfortable or ready you are to speak on this.
I'm good.
But you came out of a relationship. Right, that you were pretty devoted to. That I know. I think it's been, what, a couple months?
It's been like 7 months now.
Okay. So what happened?
So
why didn't it work out?
So basically, this relationship was 3 years long, and I think we started when I was like 17, 16. And the reason why I think it didn't work out was because as we were growing, it's kind of like our goals, our ideas were changing, and it was like we weren't resonating with each other as we were when we were 17, you know? Because, you know, as in life, one thing I learned is that your ideas, the person you're becoming is always changing.
Ever evolving.
It's always evolving, right? And sometimes, like, you can't be with a certain person forever, you know, because you may grow in a different way, they may grow in a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of like you kind of attract the people that you resonate with more, you know. And as time went on, I realized that we were kind of like growing apart. You know, she was going in one direction, I was going in the other, and so we just weren't compatible anymore.
What was one of like the points that were like a big deal breaker?
I would say it's definitely I think that personally, me, I also wasn't ready for a relationship as well, because I still wanted to get my shit together first. You know, like I wanted to make sure I was financially ready to, like, you know, devote myself to a woman, you know, because trust me, as much as you think it's not about the money, it is about the money. You know, like you gotta take her on dates, you gotta you know, you gotta drive her places, you gotta do a lot of things. There's a lot of things that come with a relationship.
Yeah.
And for me to be such devoted in a relationship at a young age, I'm not saying it's impossible, but to the place I want to head to and the speed I want to go at, I don't want to be, you know, slowed down.
Yeah, or holding them back. You know?
Or holding them back, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like, I was the one who initiated it, and then after a while, she agreed, and then we kind of just set ways from there.
Yeah. So how hard was it, like, because being, you know, with someone for a couple years, right? Mm-hmm. I know it might have been your first love, I don't know, right? But
it was.
Yeah. So even though you came to these, you know, clear decision about it, and you were the one that initiated it, it still was probably hard.
Definitely, yeah.
Right. So how'd you deal with it afterwards? How was that transition?
I think the only way to deal with like a separation is to just better yourself, you know, better yourself to the point where like, because that was the initial intention at the beginning, was to better myself, to get myself ready to actually devote myself to a woman, you know. So if the time does come around and, you know, she's still there and, you know, God puts us in the same path together again, and I'm the man that I want to be, then, you know, I'll be ready to devote my whole entire life to her, you know. I
think a lot of people, right, especially women, don't really understand that when we're growing up as men, right, there's a lot of things that we deal with, right, and we think of them like so often in the decision that we make, and sometimes it hurts to make these decisions, but they're ultimately for the betterment of yourself and them. It could be confusing at times. It could be like, you know, why is Jaylin, you know, kind of like changing now or doing this? Yeah. A lot of times people will say you've changed because they don't know how to say you've grown.
That's facts.
And when we're trying, like, especially at that 18, 19, 20, early 20s mark, it's with the examples that we see and we have, we want to, a few of us want to become like the best versions of ourselves. We don't want to be comfortable. We obviously want someone there to support us and build with us, but usually it doesn't come at those young ages, or it's very hard to balance that act, right, at such a young age. Like, I stayed single for many years. Right, I haven't been in many serious relationships, very few actually. And that was because I'm in your 20s as a man, as a boy transitioning to a man. There's so many things you got to work on, right? Like to make yourself of someone of value, you know, someone of character, someone with strong morals, and to have a proper foundation that now you can build a house on. So I just wanted to drop that there, because a lot of times, right, society, right, or the other side won't really understand that this is the perspective that we come from when we make these hard decisions. Like, trust me, you could be comfortable and just go on and, you know, just have everything go in and, you know, and like kind of like, but you're not doing them justice, because you're sacrificing who you could be for them, who you could be for yourself. Right. You know, like, so it's not easy, but it's still commendable that you take these decisions that are for the betterment of everybody right there, and you're trying to be better for your family, your future family, your community, and the brotherhood that you have. So when you're looking into who you're spending your time with, and who you're surrounding yourself with most, what are some criteria that you're looking at, right, to determine if this person, right, it can be like a homie, a friend, or somebody that you want to collaborate with?
So I'd say the criteria would just be anybody, first of all, who is in self-improvement. People who take care of themselves, you know, like fitness, health. As long as they're just in self-improvement, have faith in God, and just want to see others win, that's all you really need to collab with me. Or, you know, if I see you as a brother maybe in the future, then if you got those traits, that's all you really need.
It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a mentality thing that most people don't have, of like, yo, I'm gonna sacrifice some fun and some comfort for a thing. And actually what happens is, once you start doing those things, it's like your fun changes. Like now, when you're working on your fitness, your mindset, that's the fun, bro.
Facts.
It's more fun than just going out and like partying and like having a good time, or even like, you know, the highest pleasure sources. Yeah. For a guy, it's like, it's way better than that. Like us even having this conversation, creating, right, collaborating, doing this together, about to go on a run. Look at the view. Who else is doing
Check
stuff
this out,
like
man.
This, man. You know, kicked up here by the beach, by the rock. Perfect
day.
Sir. The horizon is invisible. Right?
In the heart of Toronto.
Yeah, this is like pushing the bar, pushing the limit on like what's possible. So we'd rather do this than even have like, you know, all the women in the world. Doesn't matter, right? So I'm gonna wrap up the podcast now. We got to set up for the run. Yep. And we'll definitely do a part 2 in the future. We got some things cooking up, right, and coming, and we'll also have like your links and stuff in the description.
Okay, bet.
But before we wrap up, what is one thing you want to leave with the people? What's a message that you have for the world?
I'd say if there's one thing I want to leave with the people is trust your gut. Follow your purpose, follow your passion. You know, if you think you're going to be successful in it, chase it by any means necessary. Don't listen to nobody who doesn't see your vision. And love people along the journey. You know, because when you love people along the journey, God's going to bring the right people to help you reach that vision. So it's all about, you know, that equal reciprocation of giving and taking. So chase your dreams, love others, and, you know, stay focused on God.
Amazing, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.